everybody, it's Catrice from When Models Talk. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Okay, so we're about to go live with Brianna Duffield. Hey girl! Sup? Today, because girl, you was right on time. I'm sitting here trying to get my thoughts together. So, so today we have Brianna Duffield, a college student, fashion and runway model, signed with EWH Management as well as Vi Agency. She has walked New York Fashion Week for Nicole Miller, as well as been on Fox News fashion segment, published in New York Post and LA Times. Go ahead, girl. Yeah. And I just want to say welcome to When Models Talk, darling.
Having me. I was so excited.
Yes, girl. So first, we're going to do a quick icebreaker. And it's by Derek Jackson.
Oh, okay.
It's by Derek Jackson. And the game is called Mentally Stimulate Me.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to ask a couple questions. All you have to do is just answer A, B, C, or D. You know. Okay. And I might answer some with you.
Okay, all right. Maybe help me out.
Okay. So, first question. If a man proposes to a woman and gets rejected because she's not ready, is it her responsibility to propose when she gets ready? A, yes. B, no. C, it depends.
I would say C. I feel like, yeah, I think C because, I guess it depends on the situation. Like, if it were me personally and I wasn't ready, I would hope he would come back and propose. Because I don't know if I would propose, but I don't know. I guess it would depend on the situation there.
Okay, I agree. I feel like, because I was watching, side note, I was watching a game, and if you've never watched the game, it was on BET, but it was on CW or some type of channel back in the day. But it's like a classic, girl. Like, it's like Melanie and Darwin. So I was watching, and that's what he did. He proposed to her, and she basically turned him down. But then she came back later because she was a little insecure, saying to him to propose again. And he was like, no, like, now you want me to propose? Now?
I don't know that. I got there.
Yeah, girl. So, I don't know. It really depends. Me, I'm old school where I don't believe in proposing to any man.
Right.
No, it's not going to happen. You going to get on that with me.
And you're
going to do.
Right.
You'll know when a person, I think they should already know when you're ready in a relationship. Because if you're not mentioning marriage, if you're not saying us, we, our, then you ain't ready. You ain't
ready. Right. I see Raul and Dimas are here. I love them. They're literally the best people. Raul, I watch his shows for Fashion Week.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. He said, that's my beautiful muse. Oh, she is beautiful, y'all. She is. I think if y'all haven't seen her Instagram and looked at her photos, when I say every single photo is like, oh my God, you just got to sit back and take it in. That is so beautiful. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, girl.
Okay.
So, if a man can't afford an engagement ring, should he wait to propose or just do it anyway? A, wait because broke and married don't mix. B, propose. It's the love that matters most.
100% B.
B.
I am a huge, 100% B. The love that matters. You don't need money. You don't need anything.
Some people get tattoos and symbolize their love on their ring finger. A lot of people use different things, especially also they might get the wood rings.
Right.
So either way, if y'all love each other, trust me.
Yeah.
To me, that's all that matters.
I agree.
Even I would love to have a nice ring on my finger. But But at the same time, I'm not trying. If I lose it, I think I would literally cry like for weeks.
I know.
Like,
well, that's the thing. It's better that waits.
Yes. You know, I wouldn't want if we're not in a good financial situation.
Right.
I would never want you to spend a whole bunch of money on a ring when that can go towards retirement. That can go towards investing in our future. That can go towards a house for us. That can go towards so much more. Right. I wouldn't want you to spend like there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money on rings, and you look at that like you don't even own a house. So I don't understand why you buy or spend all this money on a ring.
Exactly.
So, now, last question. Okay. I'm not going to ask that question. Let me see. Okay. Let me ask this question. I want to answer. Okay. So, 4 people are barely hanging onto the edge of a cliff.
Oh, okay.
Which one do you pull to safety first? A, your spouse. B, parents. C, child. B, your baby daddy, baby mama. Somebody.
You would save your baby dad. No, I'm kidding. Never. No. That's like best.
So you can answer this in different ways. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I can answer. Wait, can I pick more than one?
Yeah. What in order? Which one would you pull first?
I would probably pick my boyfriend first because he's strong. So then he could like help me pick up the rest of the people if they're falling off a cliff.
Now I agree with that because I'm going with the strongest person. Whoever's the strongest person, I'm going with because then he could just be like, snatch up, you all, throw you in the bag.
Yes, I would pick up
you in the bag.
Like you're like get everyone else up, please help.
Yes, and you need the strongest person. It's not even about it's like, for example, when they say you're on an airplane, you put a mask on yourself first so you can help others. It's similar. It's not exactly pulling, but you know what I mean.
Right.
So, yeah, girl. So,
yeah, girl.
Let's get into these topics. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about investing in yourself.
Yes.
Modeling and going to school. The law of attraction. Support. New York Fashion Week and runway.
Okay.
All right.
Very important topics.
Yes. So first, let everybody know, how did you get into modeling? How did that start?
I actually got in when I was 16, and I got picked up by an agent in New York, and I signed in New York right away at 16. And then right from there, it kind of just took off. I started meeting casting directors and just like people who kind of helped me from there. And I started doing Fashion Week, and then I met more agents and signed in different places, and now I'm here. So I was lucky, but you could also online submit to agencies and stuff if you're just starting.
So, side note, when it comes to like online submitting, have you ever had to do that, or do you know anyone that had done it and actually worked out for them?
Yes, I think like agents are always on there checking, so I definitely think that's a good thing. I know I online submitted back right before the pandemic in March for different markets like Miami and LA, just because I wasn't signed there. But obviously since pandemic, things in the modeling industry are just at a stop.
Yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people aren't working, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are. It just depends on, I don't know if it's more people because they have an agency with them,
right?
That's making it possible, or if it's just you got some people that are actually hustling and bustling, saying, "Okay, my income got to continue to come in,
right.
So I got to do any and everything I can to continue to get out there and make the connections." I think right now a good thing to do is also make to network. for people that are on a standstill, and also build yourself up, meaning maybe your portfolio, and whatever else that's going to get you a little bit more out there so that people are being able to see you more and saying, you know what, I remember I saw When Models Talk, and
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Exactly.
I saw that model show.
Oh,
I actually like her.
Go try in the middle of a pandemic.
Huh? Say that one more time.
I said go try and get signed in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's not that right. Now I know they're looking for local talent. So if you're in New York, that's awesome. Like, obviously they need people who are in New York. A lot of the people who are international, a lot of the girls and stuff can't come in. They can't be here to work. So we need some local girls. Let's go.
You thinking?
Yes.
That didn't even come across. You know what? That's funny because that didn't even come across my brain.
Yeah, because
they can't come over here.
Right, exactly.
So that means we got more opportunity.
Yes. It's great. It's a good, I mean, it's good. Yeah, it's definitely good for local, like, talent and stuff right now.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a lot of the castings that come in now. It's all, everybody want local. When you have stuff that comes in, like in casting agency, things come in where they're having something in Philly and they're doing a shoot or a commercial or whatever it is, they want people that are local. And
right.
They also want to make sure that you COVID free.
Yeah. I think every casting I've had has, you have to do like a COVID test before you go, or like even jobs. Shoot.
As they should, because if you come on set and we don't know exactly how people are really getting it, and all of a sudden you go in there and you COVID and you don't know you got COVID, and all of a sudden everybody leave out and everybody got COVID, everybody gonna cuss you out.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have not a good name.
You ain't never gonna model again. They like, you know what? Don't come back. You're done. You better find a different business. You better find something else.
Good actor. You're an actress now.
Yes. And then hopefully that word don't spread over there too. Now, so you got signed to a modeling agency basically at the age of 16. Yeah. So, but before you got signed to an agency, was modeling something that you already had a passion for or wanted to do?
I thought about it when I was younger, just because I was like super tall and like really like awkwardly skinny, like just like, and I know like my uncle would always be like, oh, you should model. And then I kind of like started looking into it. I started watching the shows, becoming obsessed, where I would like always pick up a magazine if I was out or something and it was on a table. I was like, oh my gosh. And I would know who every model was. I'd walk in the mall and be like, oh, that's Candace Monpool. Oh my gosh, that's like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I kind of got hooked on it, and then it happened, and I was like, oh, wow.
Okay, it's called manifestation.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get into the law of attraction. So when you said that, you know, you started studying it, you started looking more into modeling because people said to you, you should be a model. So what are some, I know that you said you started looking more into it and you got, you know, you looked into magazines, you found out different names. And wait a minute, let me get this right. Did you have any goals in that process as far as becoming a model? Not just becoming a model, but where you wanted to be positioned and all that?
My biggest goal was like to sign with a big New York agent. And I think the first goal I ever had was Fashion Week. And then at 16, I was able to do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I just checked off a goal. So I was like, let me like create more goals. So I kind of kept going from there. And like, I've been lucky to be able to check a lot of them off that I set. And I think it's just kind of like, you just keep going, you keep pushing and like trying.
Yeah, I agree. So who was like the supporters that in your family or your friends that, you know, kept you basically going and saying, you know, when things did not work out at times? Because of course in the modeling industry, You don't always get a yes.
Pandemic.
There will be some no's.
I think like my mom and dad obviously were my biggest supporters because I was in high school and I'm in South Jersey, so it's like an hour and a half to the city. But I would be in the middle of like, I remember it was like first period and they would be like, hey, can you be here in 2 hours? And I was like, I can't even drive a car in my head. So I was like, can someone take me to New York? And I would get picked up from school, go to New York. And then, so they like supported me a ton. And then just like my family, I have a very close family. And we do like Sunday dinners and stuff. So like if I got told a no, like they would always cheer me up or like do whatever it took to make me forget about it and just brush it off.
That's good because I think it's very important to have people, your circle that supports you and helps you, especially when you're down, because the modeling industry can definitely be very if you're not the right person, it can be very crucial to your mental state.
But even if you are the right person, I feel like the modeling industry it's very draining. Like it can be very draining on your mental state, your physical state. So definitely draining. So it's really good. Like my family definitely supports me and gets me through everything. So
yeah, look, and that's a good thing because you was like, I got 2 hours to get to this shoot.
Yeah, I would call my dad
to take me.
Dad, I know you're at work, but we need to be in New York in 2 hours. We have a call time. It would be like a wait. Me and him would always go up to New York. And I was like, all right, so we would do a casting or a show. I would even do like Fashion Week, and he would wait in a Starbucks because he can't come in. Like he would wait for work. And then I'd be like, do you want to get dinner? And we would always like make it a point to like just go there and get dinner. It was always fun.
Oh, well, that's good that your dad was like extremely supportive.
He was so supportive.
In all that you do, because that's crucial.
Absolutely.
Especially at your dad saying, okay, I'm going to be here. Because I've been around a lot of models where I see that they have like their moms, sometimes their mom and their dad. Right. When they come to a shoot. And I'm normally by myself.
Right.
But I'm older too. So it's like, y'all can stay home. Keep the kids. Keep the kids. That's my support. Keep the kids. Keep the kids to do this job. That's the main thing I need. I don't need y'all to be at the show. I need you to watch the kids.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, it's like I try and get them in, but it's really hard to get like even your family into like Fashion Week or whatever. So I'm like, maybe I can sneak them backstage or something. Like always thinking about that.
Yeah, because I know a few models that it's just like, and I'll be like, hey mom, and they'll be like, and then the moms are just wonderful because they like, who is that one? That right there. The one always called me, talking to me, hey mom.
I know, if moms get into the shows, it's like, they're always like, are you hungry? Do you need anything?
Yes.
Wow. To have, like, on set.
Yes, they be right there. Like, you wouldn't need anything? They be like, well, that's my daughter right there. And I'll be like, I know. She is wonderful. It's fun. It's definitely fun, especially, and it's great when you see the support that some people actually have, because there are some out that don't have support, and they just going off of just their own goals and what they want to accomplish, right? And that's it. And it gets very, very hard, especially when you keep on hearing no.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like it's like hard. A lot of the girls who come over internationally, like, they come over completely alone. The only people they have contact with, they don't speak our language. Like, they'll come over and they're going to stay in model apartments and only know maybe those 4 girls and not even be able to communicate with them. So it's like also that too. Like, it can be really lonely in the modeling industry sometimes.
Yeah, I was actually, it's this girl that I follow on Instagram, but she's like heavy in fitness right now. Like that's her life. But before that, she was a model, and she's from Trinidad. So she was basically saying, that it became very, very lonely to the point where she actually got very much so depressed because she was there all by herself. She would go to a casting, come right back home. She really didn't, spend time with the other models. It was just it was just really like she didn't have anybody there to support and help her. And I think it's very important as models, as much as some may see each other as competition, but not everybody see you as competition. We see you as a human being, and we just want you to be successful.
Absolutely.
It's because you got to think about this way. We're all different. So something that you may have may be appealing to this casting agency, but they also may look at me at the same time and say, you know what, I like her too. Let me take her.
Right. Yeah, and you don't know. And I feel like it's important to have, like, even a close or, like, a group that you can talk to in the modeling. And, like, it's always good, like, when you're on casting, it's like, oh, where are you from? Like, just start a conversation, because you don't know where that will lead you. And you kind of just, like, need people to understand also, like, in the industry, like, yeah, it can get lonely, especially, like, you're going to a casting or a job, and then you go home, and, like, you don't really, it's not, like, the most normal schedule either, so.
Yeah, and just like you said, it can get very lonely, especially when you don't, and that's why I make a point to actually, when I go to a casting, or when I go anywhere, I make a point to actually have a conversation, or at least say hi to somebody.
Yeah, because you always stand at the shows. You were always, like, the best, just energy to be around.
Yes, half the people out, mostly everybody I don't know, but I don't care.
Well, everyone knows you, though. Like, you can walk in, everyone's like, Catrice. And you're like, that's Catrice is here.
Yes, girl, and I'm going around giving everybody hugs.
I know.
Like, who is this? Look, you gonna give me a hug today? Look, let me just smile, and you gonna give me a hug today. Like, yeah, I think it's very important to have, like, and I think it makes me even more passionate now that when it comes time to do, like, when I decide to do more, and I see somebody that's maybe not as social, or maybe somebody that's sitting by herself or whatever, to actually go up to that person and be more talkative and say, just to have a conversation, because they could be coming far. When I did New York Fashion Week, I met so many people from different countries.
I know. Sorry.
And I didn't even know.
I don't know why. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, I know. It's crazy. Like, I think it was my first fashion week. I was 16, 5'11", blonde, pale. And I was like, where are they from? So I went over and I talked to them. And they were literally had just gotten off the plane from South Africa. They were like, they were like, we forgot our comm cards on the plane. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you really just got off the plane. Like, you don't even know. And they're there and they'll go back. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, as soon as the job is done.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, but you got to be very careful, because I know I met some models and they were like, well, I don't even know where the heck I'm going to stay.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Yeah. And sometimes, like, the model apartments, like, they're really small, and, like, it can just be a lot, I feel like, when you're just going straight into a model apartment, because they're hard. They're definitely not, like,
So have you ever had to go into have you ever stayed in a model apartment or no?
I stayed overnight, like, with a friend, but I never had to stay in one. But, like, model apartments, they're a little bit small, I think, just for how many people who have, like, sometimes there's bunk beds, and then, so it can be a lot with that, but.
Okay. Because I've never had to stay in one. I'll be like, okay, I'm driving into New York.
Oh, I know.
I'm coming right back home.
Exactly.
I learned the techniques of how to save money on gas, which way to go for you so you can save money on tolls, as far as parking is concerned, how we gonna save money, and when it's time to eat, how we gonna save money.
Yeah.
Bring the snacks.
Have time if you have.
Because it's something, because I feel like when new models come in, it's a process, and a lot of people think it's, like, so easy, like, oh my gosh, it's just going to be perfect. No, it's work. Yes, this is work.
Oh yeah, especially Fashion Week. Like, everyone, I think the main thing is, like, oh, it's so glamorous, like, it's the coolest thing ever. And, like, meanwhile, like, your hair goes from, like, soft beach waves to slick down, and then your makeup's on, and then the next show it's like, wipe it off, put more on, and then you're like, yep, I'm here.
Yes. But it definitely is so much fun. I will say that.
Oh, absolutely.
We always have a good time.
Oh, yeah. And you meet so many people. There's, like, events going on. Like, it is amazing. Miss it. I didn't miss it this year.
I know. I think a lot. I don't know what's going on this year as far as I feel like they're still having
There's
Atlantic City Fashion Week.
shows, I know, like there's 3 days of in-person shows. It's like Tom Ford, a few of like those names. And then they're doing some virtual, like some designers are doing virtual shows. And then yeah, I guess it's really not too much going on.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like, man.
I know. Spring.
And I know Philly Fashion Week. I don't remember their dates, but I don't know what they're doing this year. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out. Come as we're doing.
Right. Yeah.
But also let's talk about going to school and also modeling. What are the challenges and how does that all work?
The reason I'm literally like this, I was doing homework all day. In high school, it was more manageable for me to model. But once I got into college, it definitely became harder just because your workload is obviously a lot more. And then it's also like a lot of people like will like want to hold a part-time job or something. And like it's hard to just balance everything. And with school though, I think so I go to Fordham. So the workload's like it's pretty heavy. And just like going to school while modeling, because you could have a class and maybe an exam and then also have a casting or a go-see. So you really have to pick and choose. And it's hard to pick and choose when you have two very important things that you really can't miss. Yeah. So it's definitely hard to balance, but it can totally be done. And I think it's like really fun going to school. I love school. So I'm glad that I can do both, but it does like definitely have its consequences in a way. Yeah.
So, because you froze a little bit, let me wait a minute. Okay, so but you said it's easier in high school?
It was easier in high school.
I would think that would be harder, but maybe not. Maybe I didn't model in high school, so I don't know. But I would have thought it would be harder.
In high school, I really was able to get out of my work because I didn't have as much. So I'd be like, okay, but then in high school, you have to worry about your absences. So like I would be up in New York maybe 3 days a week. And I was like, I go to school 2 days a week? That's not like, that's not allowed. So I would have to like make up a ton of work and stuff. But so I guess it's hard. It's going to school and modeling is hard, but it can be done.
Yeah, it definitely can.
It's definitely like, for me personally, like I put modeling, like I'm not going to miss a casting or something for a class, but I have to make up that class. I have to make up that work. So like it kind of like just the balancing thing with school and modeling.
Okay. Well, hey, it's just look where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. Done.
Exactly. It's like you ain't got no choice. Either I want to graduate, so I gotta do what I gotta do, and if I want to start in my modeling career, I still have to do what I gotta do.
Exactly.
It just takes a balance.
Exactly.
I'm trying to accomplish your goals. That's really what it is.
Right.
And with college, I didn't model in college. I was done college by that time. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing like with having kids, though. You know, at the end of the day, you still got to try to figure out what you're going to do, especially if you don't have a lot of support. Thank God for my mama.
Oh.
Because if I didn't have my mom or my sisters, I would have been like, I would have never got this. I would have never got New York Fashion Week. I would have never got a lot of the stuff, commercials, a lot of stuff that I actually have done. I wouldn't have got that if I didn't have my mom or my sisters.
Exactly.
So support is very important, and everybody just continue to make sure. Look, don't burn your bridges, though. If you say you're going to be back at a certain time, be back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Be like, I'll be fine, don't worry.
And then, somebody tell you, it's an after party after this fashion show. You know, I'm going to go. No. You said that she was coming back. Don't call your baby.
I know.
Or call your ride and say, you know what? Can I just go here for a little bit? No, you cannot. I want to go home.
I know.
So how was it for Dad? So were your parents able to watch any of your shows?
Yes, thankfully, Raul, when I did his shows, like I'm so close with Raul. I love him. So when I did his Fashion Week shows, like obviously it's so hard to get tickets. And I went up to him and I was like, Raul, can I please? And he was like, absolutely, like your family's like what made you, what brought you to where you are,
Yeah.
100% coming. And like with him, like I was able to do that. If I didn't have Raul though, I don't think I would have ever gotten them in. Actually, one time though, I did sneak my mom in backstage. I was like, oh my gosh, the door's open. Found a backstage pass. Here you go. Here.
Yes. I think my mom came to a couple of my shows, and I one she paid for them. She did.
I
But
know.
she was supportive.
Get into.
She said, I want to see my daughter.
Oh.
So yes, thank you. My mom will hear now. Thank you, Mom, for being such a supporter. Yes. Yes. Watching the kids. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mom. So now let's talk about we talked about school. We talked about okay, hold on. Let's talk about New York Fashion Week. So what I've learned is that when I first started going to New York, I learned that there's different levels to New York Fashion Week.
Oh,
there's not one straight, everything's equal. It's different.
It's very different.
So let the people know what are, and I'll chime in too, what are some stuff when it comes, well, what are some different levels when it comes to New York Fashion Week?
What did we say? We said, so I guess the best way to explain it is like, it's like A, B, C. Mm-hmm. There's different tiers. So like the C, I guess like in the C tier, you would just have, maybe things that were like, oh, for profit, or just like shows that maybe designer wise, like you can, I'm pretty sure you can enter in it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The Fashion Week, or I know different groups that own different fashion weeks. So I would say, the best way to explain it is like there's a venue, and maybe that venue's owned by Style. So then Style Fashion Week maybe would be like a B group. So like there would be maybe 12 shows for Style Fashion Week, and that's like that would be like
that would be like, depending on Style, if we talking about like Style magazine.
Yeah. So yeah. There's like Style Fashion Week, there's like the fashion designers of Latin America. And have like the names, like obviously like the people who are still going on right now, it's like Tom Ford's on right now. Whoever you would have, Balenciaga,
but I think for them, that's like, hey, I ain't gonna sit here and say that everybody B, A, B, C, and D, but there are different levels. So I know when I did New York, and this is how I figured it out, because I think I did Latin. I did something Latin. I don't remember what it was. I just know people are so exotic.
Yeah,
girl.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just beauty everywhere.
You really?
Oh my gosh!
Around
some gorgeous people.
Backstage, like, what's going on? Like, you don't know what's going on backstage.
No, exactly. But some people are so gorgeous. So when I did something with Latin something, and I did another show. So I've done a couple different shows with New York Fashion Week, and what I learned is that people buy the name, so they buy into. Let me put, just so I can put New York Fashion Week at the end, but a lot of times most shows. So I don't want to say most, but some shows you do not get paid. I know for a lot of the shows I did in New York, I did not get paid, but there was one person that actually, he was from Atlanta. He was a well-known designer in Atlanta, and he did he was on like the Housewives of Atlanta as one of their designers. And he literally, now he paid his models. Now But when I got there, I was walking for people that weren't originally going to pay me. But he saw me and he was like, okay, Catrice, I actually want you in my show. So he cut the check.
Right.
Versus you may go and you may not get paid. So, and that's why you got to be very careful on what shows you're doing, or at least have a strategy, have a plan. So if you do your research and you know that, okay, I'm going to be in this building. So like the Pier, is it Pier 1?
Pier 1, yeah.
Pier 1. Like if you know that you're going to be in that type of building, a lot of people do a lot of the big shows in that building. It's like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, a lot of big shows are in Pier 1. So you know then, like, go meet people, get your name out there, throw your comp card out there, and, like, be like, I want to walk in your show. Just walk up. Like, if you do your research and stuff, you can go up to any designer and be like, I want to walk in your show. And, you know, that gives you a good shot.
Yep. And if you have your comp card with you and you have your measurements on the comp card, they're automatically going to look at you and say, okay, you fit my criteria and I like your look. Boom. But one thing I learned in multi-level marketing is you have, first of all, get in and get out, number one. But if you have an opportunity to get their phone number, don't be afraid to ask people.
No.
For the simplest thing, because people will give you their number. If not, they'll at least give you their Instagram. But don't be afraid to ask, because if, like I tell my kids, a closed mouth never gets fed.
Yep.
So if you want something, you actually have to speak up and say something.
You do.
Because the designer's not going to know. They might just think that you're there for the show.
Yeah. They don't, and you definitely have to talk, even if, like, you're, like, I don't know, if your shoe is too tight or something, like, you have to be able to, like, communicate with the designers, like, you have to be able to communicate with all these different people to get what you want.
He said you're dropping knowledge from a video guy who loves the inner working of these productions. Yes.
Yes, I know. They're crazy.
It's a lot. But yeah, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, I was just gonna say, like, communication's, like, super important, especially Fashion Week. Like, I know, like, for me personally, like, something I always have to say is, like, if there's someone around and, like, I'm, like, running from, like, maybe I'll have, like, 6 shows that day, I'll be like, I please have a water, or, like, something, like, just, like, sometimes you have to remember, like, you're still, like, a person because you're so busy and you're running show to show or, like, whatever. You have no time. So I think it's, like, super important to, like, just be like, hey, like, I just need 1 second, like, communicate with everyone backstage, whoever.
Yes, and because I know a lot of times some people don't want to say anything because they don't want to feel like they're a bother, or they're, you know, they don't want to be the one getting on somebody's nerves. But if it involves your health, if you feel like you about to pass out, if you feel like it's a lot going on with you and your body, make sure that you ask for help. You know?
Yeah. I've been so close to passing out on Fashion Week. Like, I've been like getting changed for a show at Fashion Week, and I'm like, I'm gonna pass out. Like, I'm like, so, like, I literally would just be like whoever was backstage, even if it was like someone helping me change, or like whoever was like, can you please get me like anything with sugar or water? Like, going to pass out if I walk right now. So, like, I feel like that, like, definitely you have to communicate and be like, I just need like a 5-second break.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're hopping from show to show to show.
Yeah.
Within one whole day. Because when a model's doing a show, you're not just doing one. Sometimes when you get booked, especially when you're with an agency, if you get booked, a lot of times, or if you're the type of person where you like to network and you done got yourself into multiple shows in one whole day in the same area, it's very important that you take care of your health. Take care of, you know, and prepare yourself. So that if you need water or if you need anything, you also have that with you. But also making sure that, like you said, open your mouth. Saying that you need some drink before you pass out. We don't need to pass out. You ain't gonna make it on the runway, girl.
I think I might pass out.
Yes, it's too much, but yeah, definitely take care of yourself, especially as a model.
Definitely.
Please do not do, and don't starve yourself for
No.
the show. And then all of a sudden you feel like you're about to pass out when you
No,
get to the show.
during
He make it this far.
during Fashion Week, you know, if you like are done shows, you did 6 back to back, didn't have time to eat, go get a cheese, like whatever you want. You know what? Like
Yes. That's your reward. Reward yourself.
Yes,
Go
exactly.
get that hamburger. I don't eat hamburger, but I'll take a turkey burger.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, so now, like you said, there's levels to New York Fashion Week, y'all. For people who do not know, I did not know when I first started, but then because I told my agency, I was like, I want to be in the big shows. Then I looked them up. I want to be in the big shows. But then as I learned, it's a different level, and you have to really build yourself, and you have to be great at what you do to be in these shows, and you have to be connected. Sometimes agencies don't have the connections, and that's something they have to get. But now, getting into that, talk about, okay, you have to work for yourself. I believe a lot of people have, you may have an agency, but you can't rely 100% on the agency to do everything for you. So let's talk about that.
I definitely think, yeah, no, you can't, just because like you do have to watch out for yourself. Like it's your personal business. More over anything, it's your personal business. You're hustling for yourself. Like you have to work for yourself. Obviously, you want to have a great working relationship. I've been blessed with it. Where I can just be like, hey, you know what, I'm having a problem, or hey, like I didn't get submitted for this, like, you know, you can reach out and talk to them. But sometimes like you always have to be researching, you always have to be keeping up with yourself, because if not, you're gonna miss opportunities, because they have other girls. They're not just focused on you. They're not, you know, they have a lot of responsibilities. Like you do have to push for yourself. And if you see something that you seem fit for, obviously like you will have to go through your agent. If you are signed. But talk to them about it. Bring it up to them. Like do your research. Like you definitely have to do that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. He said, Access Lacrosse. He said, he or she, I don't know.
Well,
Hashtag hustle. Yes, I know about the hustle. I know about the hustle.
Yes.
I've been there, done that, and I still
it's like an on-call job. You're always on call. Like that's the best way I can explain it. Like you're always on call. You don't know when it's going to come up. And if you're not currently on a call, you're going to get one, or you better be working on your materials, building your book, like all of that.
Yeah. That's something I definitely had to learn also. And that was that I was not the only one at the agency. I think let me tell you about this. I think a lot of models think that when they have an agency, well, when they're with the agency, that it's all about them. Like, no. If you want that, that's why they have managers. There are managers that actually will take you on as a client and, you know, work on your modeling career personally with you. If that's what you want. But when you are with the agency, there's a good handful, 100 girls that they have under them. And sometimes the casting agency may only ask for 10 that fit a certain criteria.
Right.
And they're like, all right, I remember this one. I remember that one. Hold on. Let me go back in here and find and see if I see who else fits that, you know, what they want. And sometimes you may not get looked at. It's not to blame them. Sometimes that's why, just like you said, to have a great relationship with your the agent, the people at the agency, because they know. Oh, matter of fact, let me call Brianna. Let me call her up and see if she's available for this date. I'm gonna submit her.
Right.
So it's very important to stay connected to them. Even if you're just reaching out, follow up, just to say hi, how's everything going? Look, even on holidays, send out a little email or text message.
I send out cards on Christmas, like whatever it is, just like you know, like you definitely want to have a good relationship with them, and just like also like, hey, what do you need me to work on so I can get this job, because this is what I'm looking for, so tell me what I have to do to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely have to follow up like that.
And don't take because I'm speaking from personal experience. Do not take offense to everything they say that
Yo.
you may feel as though that, you know, what y'all coming for me? Like,
No, you can not take offense. They're gonna tell you things. They're gonna be straight up with you. Take it and just be like, okay, yeah, thank you.
Especially when it comes to your social media.
Yeah.
They may say, okay, that's not a good look. Or even going for a certain casting.
You could post a picture, like it happens sometimes. You'll get a text, hello, beautiful. That's not a look. You should probably take it down. And you have to be like, you know, like they're looking out for the best you. So like, if you get that, just be like, okay, got it.
Because you got to think about it this way. At the end of the day, it is a business. And they want to see you make money so they can make money. Right.
So if they do tell you something, even if it's like very blunt, definitely take it because they're looking.
But you know what? I think it's also when it comes to an agency, they need to, there needs to be correct delivery also.
Oh,
you know, when it comes to how you deliver, just like when you're in a relationship with somebody or whatever the case may be, it's all about your delivery, how you're delivering something. You don't want to be rude. You don't want to be nasty. You want to show people care. And this is why I'm saying this to you, because I truly care that you are an amazing model and I want to see you do well. So these are the things that you need to fix.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be nasty. I don't want to be rude and I don't want you to feel no type of way about yourself, but this is what you need to do. If you say you want to be here, this is what you need to accomplish and do for yourself. Not for me, but for yourself. Because this is your goals and your dreams.
It personally. Like you can't take it personally. That was Joshua. You can't take personally like what they're saying to you because like as he wrote in the comments too, like it's what's more marketable.
Yeah.
But also like there definitely has to be respect from the agents. When they're talking to you, like you want them to treat you respectfully and you will change what they have to say, but like it definitely like they need to like agents need to approach you respectfully, which is I think a very important note, and I feel like sometimes
that's not the case.
No, and it's not the case.
Because I know I've heard, now don't be wrong, I've never had any agent at all approach me in a rude, nasty way because I wasn't having it anyway.
Right.
But because at the end of the day, I tell you all the time, like, y'all, I'm not no 16-year-old. I got 3 kids.
Right.
What you not gonna do is say crazy things to me and think I'm like your age, if not close. What you not gonna do is talk to me in a nasty way and think that it's okay. That's not what we're doing. We're gonna talk like adults. And whatever Catrice needs to work on, you need to relay that because Catrice can take it because she has a goal that she wants to accomplish. If I make money, you can make money.
Exactly. Girls make money, agents make money. So like have a good connection with that. Like obviously like we want to do our best work. We want to make money, hustling all the time.
Yes.
Definitely want to be like spoken to respectfully though. And I feel like for a lot of girls, including girls who come internationally, they don't know sometimes when they're disrespectfully, and they'll just take it. And a lot of girls do just take it because you don't want to obviously go against or ever like make your agent feel that you're not listening to them. Like you always want your agent to know you're listening to them, but obviously like you have to be careful because sometimes some things don't come off respectfully.
And you know what? Also, I think there's a lot of agents out. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great agents out there. Absolutely. They are respectful and they actually truly care about the people that they represent.
I'm blessed to have them. Some of them.
Yes, but I have heard of a few models that I know that has had agents, and the agents, you know, could talk a little reckless. And I think a lot of times it's like constantly, how can I put this? It's like constantly you have so many people that you're working with. And that sometimes people can be on their high horse saying, well, I control what job or whatever you get, or I do this, so you going to just take whatever I give you. People got to understand. This is why I tell people all the time. I was like, they don't know my Jesus.
Yep.
Which means that at the end of the day, if it's something that's not for me, it ain't for me. But
Yeah.
when God says so, guess what? I'm gonna have it, regardless of what you're saying. Because men don't have power. Men don't got no power over that. And I think that's the issue that a lot of people have at times. Because like in the beginning, like I'm learning this even now, even more. Because when I think about like past history, because I'm reading a book now, and that brings all that stuff up as far as the pain, hurt, things that's going on in your life that you have not healed from. And I post the book this morning on my stories. But I'm reading that book, which is by Sarah Jakes, TJ's daughter. I cannot remember what the name is. But it talks about healing, and I think a lot of people don't understand the power that you have. You have more control than you think that you have over your say-so. You control you. So if you don't want somebody to talk to you a certain way, tell people how you want to be talked to. Tell people how you want to be treated. If you feel as though it does not matter your age. I think the problem is a lot of these girls that get in here, they're young, and they don't think that they have the power to speak up and say something.
Right.
So speak on that real quick, because you started when you were 16.
Yeah, so when I was 16, like, I could have been told anything, and I was just like, okay, I'll do it. Like, I would do, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, at that mindset, too, you're like, I want this so bad, like, I would do whatever. And you kind of, you know, there was times where I got walked over. I never spoke up for myself. I never was like, hey, could I get a water? Or like, hey, I don't really feel good. I was just at a show. Like, can I, like, sit for 5 seconds? But now that, like, I'm older and I kind of know, like, I've been through a lot of it, I feel that, like, I'm not afraid to say, obviously politely, like, hey, you know what, I'm not feeling too well. I just came from, like, 3 shows. I'm going to sit down for 5 seconds. Like, or, hey, like, to your agent, like, I feel like I haven't been working as much. Is there anything I can do to make it better? Like, I think, like, with time and just, like, once you get older, you definitely get better at that. But, like, obviously it's hard when these people, like, you know, your career is, like, it's your career.
But I think if you also work on yourself, building yourself, and learn to take constructive criticism, and continue to build off of that, you can start creating your own thing. And that's why I keep on telling them the stuff the fact that what you have learned, you can actually take that, and for your career so far, you can take that and actually run with it, because you've been behind the scenes. I'm sure if you wanted to do a modeling a runway show, I'm sure you could do that if you wanted to too. If you wanted to train and coach other girls, you could do that too, because you were trained and coached as well. So also speak on that when it comes to coaching. What experience? Invest in yourself. Let's get into that.
So
I really got a little bit of time, so I'm trying to get in.
I know. At a young age, I feel like obviously, like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know how to runway walk. Like, I can walk with heels on, but I don't know how to runway walk. So I was just, I asked my agent, I was like, how can I want to walk in Fashion Week. I was like, the first thing I told when I signed at 16, I was like, I want to walk at Fashion Week in the spring, just in the fall. And they're like, you know, they look at you, they're like, all right. Like, she's like, whoa. But then, so he introduced me to a runway coach. His name is Dimas, who is, like, my closest friend to this day. And he was my runway coach. We did a ton of training. I booked Fashion Week. We became so close because we met through him coaching me. He's also a casting director. So not only that, every Fashion Week, Dimas calls me and he walk because he likes my walk. He helped me get to where I am. And even with that, I think I got, like, personal trainers. I know, like, at the time for New York, my hips were about, like, an inch big. So I did get a personal trainer, and I work obviously really hard diet-wise. But I make sure, like, to also, like, with eating, I know that's, like, to eat enough. But, like, I do it in a way. So, like, I'm eating, like, a ton of protein and, like, just, like, switching. Like, I was just making sure, like, that I was investing in myself, because you have to put a ton more in before you get anything out in modeling. You have to put a ton before you can get anything out.
I agree. So she said she did runway coaching. So for those that know that they do not know how to walk,
yes,
you're the runway coach.
yes.
And look for a great runway coach that's going to allow you to be able to also make the connections, but make sure you're the person that's positive, that walks into the room, actually speaks to people, somebody that has a friendly vibe to them where we ain't got to try and figure you out
Right.
while you sitting there because you looking at me. No, smile
Right.
a little bit.
Exactly.
But, you know, make those connections, invest in yourself. Also with photographers, sometimes you have to pay the money.
Huge thing.
To actually, you know, get a good photographer so you can get great photos.
100. You have to put so much money down for pictures in the beginning because you need to shoot with like people who will build your book for where you want to go. It is like college recruitment in a way. It actually kind of sounds like college recruitment. But yeah, no, like I had to pay a ton of money for pictures, but those pictures were the ones that got me signed. So
yes,
I have a trainer, like all these things that I put in, like I'm getting out now, but it took me 2-3 years to get stuff out, start getting stuff back.
Yeah. And again, it's not a sprint, it's a journey at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When it comes to modeling, you might come straight off the rip and you just killing it. But some people, that's not everybody's story.
No, so, I mean, a lot of people, like, you have to work, like, even, like, to sign, like, it's hard and you can get told no a lot, but
yeah,
you go back, wait 2 weeks and be like, hey, I'm back. I'm ready. I did what you needed.
Like, I wasn't ready before, but I'm ready now.
Yeah.
And that's when you come with the killer walk. That's when you come with, you know, when it comes to posing and doing all the stuff that you weren't doing before. They're like, okay, I see you. You actually did what you were supposed to do.
Yes.
Okay, now we ready to shoot. Now
and you'll
ready
like, they're like, come back when you know how to move in front of a camera. And you're like,
yes.
Thought I just look up Coco Roca and it's like, what's going on? But yeah, it does. Like, you definitely have to put in a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody, because we got this our last minute. Yeah. So let everybody know where they can find you. Just our closing remarks, and if you have anything that you want to say to people that are coming into modeling now.
Well, one, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be able to talk about it.
Thank you for coming.
My Instagram, my email's on there, but that's usually business related for modeling. But yeah, my Instagram, like, DM to anyone like who is looking to get into modeling or questions, kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, check out her Instagram. Her Instagram is Brii, Brii Duffield.
I had to find a name that like worked. Everything's taken.
And of course, if you want to book her for anything, reach out to her casting agency, or her mother agency, EWH, also Vi Agency. Thank y'all all for watching. I appreciate y'all. Stay healthy, happy, and safe. And thank you for coming on, girl.
Bye, Catrice.